Michael R. Vanderpool, or on Steam, of which this short video introduction is intended to be Astrologer 007. I am a professional astrologer. I've had a number of accurate predictions on astrology. I've also, for the last 4.5 years, assisted with a Georgian American Defense related project in the country of Georgia, and have a few dozen films either directly or not so directly related to that. I've also been a world traveler, expat style, since spring of 2004. So I'm going to go back a little bit and tell you a little bit about the story of my life and bring it up to speed to why I've joined Steemit recently and have decided to use the Steemit platform as well as Dtube. At the moment, I have over 900 videos published to YouTube, starting as far back as 2008. I'm also seeking another platform besides Facebook, which I started to use really more sometime in latter 2010. So I was born in Missouri. My mother's a nurse, still in the nursing care business at Highland Home for Seniors in Marshall, Missouri. My father is now retired. He was in the financial services industry for years. Before that, a mechanic and owned his own gas station. Also, he's done a lot of remodeling and reconstruction and has some rental properties, but now spends most of his time at Truman Lake or Lake of the Ozarks as a professional fishing guide. My brother is helping my mother in the nursing care business and has some farm property and interests in Saline County, Missouri. And I started out my life in Marshall, Missouri as well. At the age of about 13, I was in Blue Springs, Missouri, which is the greater Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas area. And that was a great experience, and was into Taekwondo with Master Ri Kon-ko at Ko's Academy of Taekwondo. At black belt testing in front of 6 Korean masters, had the invitation to attend Olympic training in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And since that time have proven skills on the streets. This is more 20 years ago, against multiple attackers, and which we were trained to do in the style of training that Master Ri Kon-ko trained us in Taekwondo. After those years, let's say it was around in 1990, 1991, my father was teaching aerobics at the YMCA in Marshall, Missouri. He took Taekwondo from also Ri Kon-ko as well as my brother, and we got involved in kickboxing aerobics, and he was teaching that for 17 years along with other aerobics. I had been at Missouri Valley College for about 1.5 years in Marshall, Missouri. Loved it, great education. Also went further on into a summer semester, another semester at University of Missouri, or MU Columbia. Had a situation where I needed to get on up to Kansas City, Missouri, so I went to entrepreneurship courses for about 1 year at JUCO, or Johnson County Community College, and then decided to, after 1 year of those courses, and decided that most entrepreneurs in America, most millionaires, don't even have an education. So I decided that speaking and communication and people skills is more important, so I went on over to CMU, which is back then Central Missouri State University in Warrensburg, and went there for a time, took courses in speech communication, and then family had a situation where I was then with Teresa, who I later married, and we together ran Vanderpool Care Incorporated, a small residential care facility, family-owned business, one of 2 that we had at that time in the family. And I had returned from studies at CMSU due to a family crisis to run the business, or be an administrative assistant for Vanderpool Care Incorporated. Teresa had kind of a tragic happening in life. We ended up getting a divorce. It's kind of, you could say it was a medical related, so to speak. And we then parted ways, and I stuck around the business until I ran into another crisis, a little bit of state abuse of power. There was an attorney general's office investigative assistant that knows about that one. So also had a health crisis at the time. I was out of the business, kind of had some foresight on that. I had studied the metaphysics. I had consulted with a real psychic witch and had prepared for that, what came to be a real turning point or crossroads in life. So I began to study the metaphysics as I was not operating or working with that business at that point, and would still consult and still do on the other side of my family, because they're still in the nursing care business, and my family's been in the business for over 30 years, and sometimes I'm helping out when I go back on this or that or a project or two, and still help with the website, advertising and marketing and so on. But the depth of the study into the metaphysics led me into the study of astrology from late 1999, especially hearing about Dr. Louis Turi, all the way into present time. And my world travel started over to Ukraine, in which I saw the Orange Revolution, ended up meeting Yulia, who I married because I had divorced with Teresa, so I ended up marrying Yulia. We ended up traveling from Ukraine to Georgia, where I'm at this very moment. Behind me is Dynamo Stadium, and I like that building over there a little bit better in looks, but I did a lot of films on YouTube, about 400. When I had got to Tbilisi, we had went to Panama, and really I started filming much more later when I had returned to Georgia in 2010. I was asked to help with the defense, an American Georgian Defense related project in 2013, and I had over the years since September 2005 sold in volume over $60,000 in books and CDs over eBay. So around the world, family shipping from home, we had sold a lot of things over the years. That might seem a lot. It might be in one way to look at it, another way it's not. It depends on how you look at it. So I'm at 7 minutes in this video right now. I'll try to wrap this up. In doing the topic of Alexander Kartveli in Georgia and helping out with an American Georgian Defense related project, I've noticed and kept an eye on censorship issues. Video censors seem to have prevented or delayed or prevented uploads from Georgia, whether it's Facebook, whether it's GeoCell, whether it's the mobile aspect of this, or whether it's other interest involved. It drove me to Steemit, and I actually have to give credit specifically to Science Alert, which led me to Jerry Banfield. Jerry Banfield's course through Science Alert, I took a short video course. I had it finished in less than an hour or two, and that had me very deeply interested in Steemit platform as well as Dtube. I also have had interest in fishing because my father's a professional fishing guide. Also a very, very deep interest and practice in a practical level, on a personal level, with Western herbalism, Dr. Richard Schultz, liver flushes, liver cleanses, colon cleanses. So as I said, I have 900 videos on YouTube at the moment. I plan to transfer some of those over and make some new ones for Dtube. And I've had videos that view as high as 80,000 or more. I think it's 70,000 on one of my liver flush videos, the Clark style, Dr. Hulda Clark liver flush style recipe. I have filmed on 7 military bases so far, 1 in the United States, and most of the rest of them here in Georgia. But as of August 2017, sometimes, some moments side by side with U.S. Army, U.S. military in the Noble Partner 2017 exercises on the Georgian Vaziani base. I also had photographed and filmed U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. I've also done some of the historical firsts here in Georgia as far as filming in the Georgian Ministry of Defense, the first meeting between NATO and then Defense Minister Irakli Alasania, the first time that the American press was in the Georgian Ministry of Defense. I've had contacts and spent time in U.S. Senator Roy Blunt's office. Staffers and I have communicated by phone and in meetings in person, and I recently received a letter from U.S. Senator Roy Blunt in response to a letter I had written back in December. This one was dated February 1st, and he had encouraged and hoped that I would continue to support our allies, and that's the allies of the United States of America, and also NATO, and would appreciate my advocacy for that as well as my insights. So that brings me up to speed today. I'm not as active with eBay. I'm still doing eBay, but I'm not as active with it. I do spend time in Missouri. I have been in over 28 different countries, 29 feet on the ground. So I am a world traveler. I am excited about Steemit because of what Jerry Banfield has taught. I've looked at other videos and other users on the topic. I am an astrologer as well. I have had successful predictions and predicted things before they happened. My first prediction was in March 2007 from Panama City, Panama. I was with Yulia then. We were still married, and at that time I wrote a book on Israel and got it down to the day accurate, and published it March 17th, 2007 from Panama City, Panama. I've done the same thing about the war in Ukraine, publishing it on March 17, 2014, just about 2 miles from where I'm currently making this video, and predicted accurately on the war in Ukraine, which then occurred just a short time after. These were published to the public, in public, exactly 7 years down to the day apart, and so I've got a bit of a gift with predictive ability. And but I'm also enjoying Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I have a lot of films on the Fashion Week here in Georgia, as well as a couple of fashion shows. One of the shows after the fashion show, Bamba Rooms, is one of my most viewed videos on YouTube, besides the liver flush videos. And in a steel frame building as well, the family project, do-it-yourself steel frame building kit that I completed with my father and brother and a cousin and a friend, all helping in, and another guy named Mo. So anyway, I have a wide variety of topics, and my passion is world travel expat style fashion shows. Here they call me a military journalist. I've never served in the military. I'm not going to serve in the military, and I'm not in the military, although one of my more recent films within the last month or so was over at the NATO headquarters here on the NATO SPS program, which is ranking at number 2 right now in the YouTube search if you put in NATO SPS. So, in any case, I am Michael R. Vanderpool. I am with the I'm with the U.S. Press Association, and also a freelance journalist, international. And I have helped with the ISAKK project for about 4.5 years. That's the International Society of Alexander Kartveli. I am excited to be on Steemit and to start with Dtube. And I appreciate very much Jerry Banfield's course on this topic, as well as Science Alert. That's how I found it, through Facebook, targeted ad. And dear friends and family, that's what brings me here today. So this is my introductory video. It's a little bit longer than what I wanted, but I've had quite a bit of a long and involved story in my life. And these are just a few of the many topics of which I've filmed and published about on YouTube as well as Facebook over the years. I've got well over 10,000, closer to 11,000 photos, and many, many photo sets on events that I've covered as a journalist, as a photographer, as a documentary filmmaker over the last 4.5 years, especially in the country of Georgia, though I've spent time in Ukraine, Russia 3 times, Panama for a year, and spent a little time in Switzerland, as well as a few visits to Rome, and stopovers in Germany and Holland, and very interested in the Billy Meyer case as well. Billy Edward Albert Meyer, and Figu, F-I-G-U, out of Switzerland. I have a couple of films there as well that I've made, so in terms of traveling through and kind of documentary film style. So, dear friends, Michael R. Vanderpool. I'm currently in the country of Georgia, but I am a world traveler, and this is what brings me to Steemit, and a little bit about my life and about me. Thanks a lot, enjoy, and thanks for watching.